So that's what motivated me to write the first book called Let's Get Rowdy. It's this book right here. Thank you, Jim. This is what it currently looks like. It's a trade paperback. It's a big one. It originally was a hardcover that I published myself in the Virgin Islands. I called it the Strokers, because strokers are people that'll say something to your face and not mean a word. They hold up a mirror, let you see your own reflection, and that's all you see, because behind the mirror there's nothing. They stroke you.
Wait a minute. Is that you on the back?
Yeah, this is me on the back, because this is the shape I used to be in, if you can see this on the camera. This is why I'm still sitting here right now, and most of my friends are in rock and roll heaven. But what happened was I had 3,500 of these printed up by Hallmark Press. I sold them so fast that I ended up selling 10,000 of them 300 miles from the equator on a tiny little island, and got 2 movie offers, one from Freddie Hyan, who did Amadeus, and the Who's movie Quadrophenia, which I didn't take. That was for $500,000, but I knew that Freddie was a little wild, and sure enough, he had a company that he took public and got caught for insider trading, so in a way I'm happy I didn't do that deal. But the deal that I did take, I got a Japanese book deal, which I took, and I got a deal offer from Joseph E. Levine, one of the greatest producers in the world, and that one I took. And I was proud of myself because I had no manager, no agent, no anybody working for me. And it was my first thing I ever written in a novel form or in a screen form, but I knew a lot about it. Because I worked on motion pictures, and I was with these stars for all these years, and I did freelance photography and album covers for the rock stars as well. I know an awful lot about how to do these things. So it was a question of using marketing skills. How do you market emotions with passion, right? You don't want to have a crazy story that's just crazy, 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 and the end's crazy. You need the love story in there. You need some people that are funny. I have a gay bartender in the movie that's hysterical, and I actually knew one out in Hollywood that was the funniest guy in the world. He would drink on your tab. You would say, "Hey, Fricky, have a drink." He said, Where do you think I've been having these drinks from? They're on your tab already." He would brush crumbs in your lap instead of picking them. He'd do everything wrong, and everybody loved him. He was one of the funniest guys in Hollywood, and there's a guy like that in the story. He's harmless, he's fun, and I have some other people that are even a little crazier. But it all builds up to a point where the people that are negative are only the ones that are involved in drugs. Right. And what I intend to do to get these movies made is take a portion of the proceeds from anything that has to do with this book, or any clothing that is sold, or rock and roll jackets, or crew clothes, or anything, and donate it to organizations that help kids that have drug problems, help them get back on their feet. I would feel so good, maybe doing God's work in that respect, of taking somebody who has nowhere to go, and their life looks like it's over, and because of this movie, and about Occam's Razor, this movie, which has to do with the ocean, but it really doesn't. It has to do with the Bermuda Triangle. It has to do with Atlantis. It has to do with clairvoyancy, a girl who can communicate to dolphins, all these things, underwater alien encounters, and a big love story with a message that if we don't do something about our oceans, and you can see it right now since Al Gore just won the Nobel Peace Prize, showing the environment, not sitting as a news anchor behind a desk talking about it, but taking you there and showing you the glaciers disappearing and all the things that are happening that are changing our climates, that if we don't do something soon, future generations in this world are going to be facing countries that are partially underwater. And that's not a joke. And that's why I've come back into this business, hoping to make movies for a better world, a concept where not only do you get entertained in a PG-13 movie, nothing R, nothing negative, you are doing something with every cent that you spend on a toy, a souvenir, or even going to that theater to go towards making everything better in the world. With this book, I'm involved on a licensing deal with the United Nations, UNEP. If we do a piece of merchandise and they like it, and they put their logo on it, all over the world, wherever that piece of merchandise is sold, and they will recommend it to their charter, a portion of the proceeds will go to saving endangered marine mammals and cleaning up the world's sea pollution. If I can I don't profess that these things are going to make that big a difference, but at least it's somebody stepping forward to make a difference. And if more guys like me try this kind of thing with using the arts and theater and movies, maybe there will make a difference. Al Gore certainly made a difference. So I don't care what you think about his political preferences or anything. He's genuine and real about what he's discovered with the environment, and what is happening is real.
There's power in numbers. If we all do a little, then we can all do a lot.
That's correct.
And you know, speaking of global warming, I was watching a news article where they actually found dry land on Greenland.
Boy.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Do you remember, if you all remember that we're watching this, Antarctica used to have a hook on the end of it. If you remember as a kid, you saw a map of Antarctica and it was shaped like a little hook in this way. That broke off about 6 months ago and sank into the ocean. And some of the glaciers right now, they look like Swiss cheese. You can actually see through them. That's how bad it is. But let's be positive. Let's be positive that this all can be fixed, it can be stopped.
Yes.
The CO2 problems that we have, the car emissions, the overpopulation of some of the countries, and all these things, chemicals that are constantly being poured into the ocean that are not biodegradable, that all of it, one day soon, everybody will get together. And I have a theory I put into this book as to how it could be done. And I won't tell you, you're going to have to read the book or see the movie to know. But it's a plausible theory how this can be done in our generation, where the beginning of it and the effects of it can be seen. Movie stars like DiCaprio aren't pretending when they get on Oprah Winfrey and they talk about they live in a house with natural sun those units that bring the sun into your house.
The solar unit?
Yeah, solar panels, and talk about the CO2 and be worried about it. He's not looking for press for his next film. He's a guy that woke up one morning and said, whoa, wait a minute. In Miami, there's only 2 or 3 feet from the ocean to the land. New York City, there's about 5 feet. Boston, LA. If the oceans keep coming up, eventually all that's going to start filling in. But again, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how to fix it. And that, Jim, is why I've written stories like this. I have a new book coming out that's not released. It'll be released in the next 2 or 3 weeks, called Sanctuary. And it has to do with the animal rights issue, that animals have feelings too. But it's a story about a little boy who's born with a special gift to heal animals because he has a Native American spirit guide inside him. So we deal with the Native Americans, we bring that back into focus, and we show he grows up to be a famous veterinarian, and he opens up a zoo with animals that have been damaged by man. Animals that have chewed off their paws trying to get out of traps, animals that have been raised for slaughter, their little skinny legs because they couldn't move, and so forth. And the stuff that I learned doing that research, I'm not even going to talk about in that interview because it's just not good stuff. But what happens in this story, which also has a nice love story in it, is it all gets resolved. The zoo becomes a teaching zoo where kids can come and see rabbits who've been perfume tested by squirting perfume in their eyes, which blinds them, and all these things, and you can adopt them and love them and realize that animals have feelings. And it's another way, yet another way of me trying to step forward and deal with something in a positive way. I keep throwing that word positive in with the words passion and the words emotions and love. Those are the things you need. You need passion and you need love. More of that will make all these things come true. Not just guys like me who write stories.